Welcome to She Roars Boldly. I am your host, Dr. Debra. Today, we're going to be diving into the stories of extraordinary women who are rewriting the rules, shattering expectations, and refusing to fade into the background. Empowered women say no to being defined by their challenges in a world that tries to silence and sideline them. She Roars Boldly celebrates the remarkable journeys of women who have transformed their struggles into stepping stones to success. So grab your coffee or tea, settle in, and get ready to be inspired and fired up. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Debra. And what I want to talk to you about today is your story. I want you to think and question what you think you know about yourself. So to start, I ask you, if you understood that what you believed about yourself was out of focus, and that in truth, you are so much more than what you think you are, how would that impact you? Would you make some different choices? Would you maybe start that business you dreamed of? Or go back to college for a new degree? What would change if that was true? Well, you see, I got some good news and I got some bad news. The good news, I'll save. Let's start with the bad news. Bad news that if you're listening to this, you probably have something, if not a lot, out of focus. And that statement is actually true. You really are more than what you think you are. The good news is we're going to discuss how to handle that and how to examine it. So, what does that mean? Well, my doctorate degree actually, is in transformational leadership and learning. And I studied a man named Dr. Meswell. He was the founder and the understanding of the transformational learning theory. In fact, he's known as the father of transformational learning across the globe. But I want to talk about another research project he did that just resounded so much with me. And that was his wife decided to go back to school after having children. And he wondered why and did a research project of similar women. And he found a whole lot of things. So I want to talk about one principle. And that principle is called a false horizon. It's an aeronautical term. And what it means is that the pilot who's flying the plane is looking through the window instead of using the true instruments in front of him. Because you see, we have to use truth in order to find change. We have to find truth in order to rewrite our stories. So what exactly does that mean, and what did he teach? Well, he taught that we developed the things that we believe and think way, way back when we were small, just out of the cradle kind of babies toddling around. We start to hear things. But particularly around age 4 and 5, we start to take those into ourselves. And the thing is, we build off that. As small children, we don't have that rationalization to change what we think. We can't logically work through a problem. So we pretty much just take whatever comes at us. Now that comes from family, good, bad, toxic. Even good families pass on family heritage. Maybe your family thought that all people in it should be construction workers or manual labor, and you want to be the doctor or the lawyer. Maybe your family is the opposite. They've always been college professors. and you want to go become a bricklayer. So families bring prejudice into our lives, let alone bullies. Bullies can be very detrimental. Also, my personal favorite, smack talk. Smack talk in no universe is okay. I have actually worked with children in schools and they smack talk to each other. Wow, not okay in any way, shape, or form. I look at their eyes and I see pain in it. So I stop the class and I talk to them about that. And I say, it's never okay to do this. And I watch heads pop up and down because the children agree. They don't want to deal with this kind of stuff. It comes from advertising. Advertising makes us living, often telling us what's wrong with us and what they can change. So we have all these messages just bombarding us, and in some ways bombarding that 5-year-old, 4-year-old child that lives inside us. So how do we destroy the false solutions? Well, you see, we have to do it with truth and clarity. But we got to do it not off the right side of the brain. I can't think of one single scenario. I challenge you to think of one single scenario where the right side of your brain has actually told you the truth. Because it's always emotional. Emotion is not truth. Instead, Dr. Meswell tells us to think off the left side of our brain. And that's our logical side. We got to remove the emotion of the moment and say, is this even true? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. We can deal with either as long as we're dealing with reality. So what he said is how the little child helps us to interpret where as we go forward. Let me tell you my story, and you can see how this works. 5-year-old, I'm 5. Bully neighborhood tells me worst possible way I'm adopted. He says that you are a throwaway kid, that the people who gave birth to you didn't want you, threw you away because you're stupid, dumb, and ugly. 5-year-old bully. What do you expect? I took it into my heart. 2nd grade, I developed some fevers and lack of oxygen just a couple years later. The teacher I had at that time was not an understanding teacher. She felt that every single person like me with a learning problem because I developed learning disabilities of spelling and grammar. And I struggled also with math. She thought that we were lazy and didn't care, and we were just being rude, obnoxious. So she decided to motivate us by holding up our papers, having the class laugh at us. But then she got so frustrated, sometimes she would just kick us out of the room into the hallway. I accepted that. And why? Because 2 years before that, I had been told I was a throwaway kid, stupid and dumb. A lot of things happen in my life, but we only have 20 minutes here. So let's take it to another pivotal moment. I was in college my first year. I was struggling with grammar, spelling. First time I had to do these big papers. And I went to school prior to having all the Grammarly and things that I had later. And so I'm struggling, and the professor calls me in his office and he says, you have an amazing brain. I love reading your papers. You have innovative thought. You are creative. And then he said words that cut through me and said, it is too bad no one in the world will ever hear what you have to say because you can't do spelling and grammar. First off, totally inaccurate as you're hearing me today. But I believed him because the 2nd grader Well, she was lazy and didn't care, and the kindergartner was stupid, dumb, and ugly, and a throwaway kid. So I started making choices after that off these messages. So I married a man I never should have married. Never. He had thrown me downstairs and flipped me prior to our marriage. So the night before we got married, I was actually with all my girls and we were in a hotel room, and I thought, actually it was 4:34 in the morning. Exactly. I thought I should not go through this. This man's not okay. But then I thought, well, the wedding's paid for, everybody's here. I can't disappoint people. But the real truth was, I didn't think I deserved it. Because I was told I couldn't finish college because I couldn't do spelling and grammar. I was told that I was lazy and I didn't care. I was told I was a throwaway kid, stupid and dumb. So I married this man and went through abuse, both physical, mental, sexual, and even religious, because he was a bastard. Got so stressed from this relationship that I developed cancer, stage 3, uterine cancer at a very young age with 3 small children. I suffered from, how do I even explain it? Anybody who's been abused knows. I suffer from total lack of who I was and the truth of what I was. I saw nothing good in me because I believed what he said, because I'd been led through all those incidents to come to this point. So you can see I did this because a college professor said I would never achieve or finish school. The second grader was told she was, well, unmotivated, didn't care. And the kindergartner was told that she was a throwaway kid. Our lives are progression off our beginnings. And even, like I said, some of the best families have intergenerational things. And they start to add with bullies and teachers and all the things that wrap me up. So what do we do? How do we change this? How do we challenge what we think about ourselves? And how do we find out that we are so much more? Well, let me tell you this right now. You do it by using the man I talked about at the beginning, Dr. Maslow's principles. You look at it not from emotion side, but from logic side, and you start slamming away at what you have believed is truth. Unfortunately, that is scary. Really, really scary for me. It absolutely was. And I know it can be scary for you because we're afraid we'll look at things and find out they're true. But let me tell you the 3 things that are going to happen and how you can work. Number 1, you're going to find out that what you were told was a lie. Untruth, not true. That professor was dead wrong. I went on to finish my bachelor degree, even though he told me I couldn't. But I had to tweak it a little. I actually went into speech communications theater, which led me to where I am today. It was a great choice. But I had oral things that I could talk it, not write it. Then I went on for my master's degree in education. By that point, I had Grammarly and other programs that would help me. And I went on for my doctorate. And I graduated from that. We'll get into why in a second. So he was dead wrong. The second thing you're going to find is true, but not important. I'm not a strong swimmer. I'm not swimming the English Channel. Don't want to go in that cold water. I don't even really like swimming all that much. I can float around on a float, but I don't like swimming. Guess what? It's true, not important. But let's talk about the elephant in the room that wants to stop us, that scares us. What if it's important and we can't do it? Well, you see, let's get in reality. I love to bring in the superhero team here, and I love to bring in the Avengers. Because you see, each Avenger has one thing they do really, really well, and a couple of things they do okay, and some that aren't bad. We are the same. You have a superpower inside of you that is powerful. Mine is analyzation, speaking, and conveying a message to change people's lives. Mine is also to help people change their message by training them how to speak and to just wow the world. But you see, we all have a superpower. Whatever yours is, you know what that is. That's your heart of heart. That's what you enjoy. That's what you love. That's what you would wish you could have a job to do for the rest of your life. And that might be possible if you really explore that. It could be, I'm the best cook and open your own restaurant. It could be, well, I really rock at editing. You could help someone like me. Maybe you are incredible at social media and you can open the world to the rest of us that are going, whoa, this is more than I could handle. But the point is, you got to form your superpower teams. And to do that, you got to recognize what you can't do and actually stand proud. And when somebody says, can you do this? Say, no, actually, I can't. But you need this. And that's okay. It's okay to admit you can't do everything. No one can. Be freed. No one can. I give you permission. We often need permission to be free. No one can. So I need to find my superpower team. You need to find your superpower team. Maybe you want to start a new business, but you can't do finances. Find someone who can. Maybe you need help with social media. Find someone who can. There is nothing wrong with forming these superpower teams and joining together and changing the world. So, how's my story look now? Since I've done all those things? Well, guess what? I now am so happy. I'm living my dream job. Not the one I headed for at the beginning, but turned out to be my dream job. I circle the world. I travel the world. I go new places, helping people to understand and be free from their past. I also enable speakers to have a powerful message and develop it in a powerful way. College student to me, well, they realize I not only graduated from my BA with a speech communication degree, I went on for my master's in ed, and I ended up with my transformational leadership doctorate, summa cum laude. That is straight A's, baby. And I did that by forming a superpowered team with editors. My second grader, no, she's no longer lazy or dumb because look at all the stuff I'm doing today. And my kindergartner, she knows in her heart of hearts that the people who adopted her were her real parents and that they gave her the love and security she always needed. And she loved them so much. And they were so, well, what does all this mean for us? Well, we have a choice. I can't make you have that choice. You can't make me have that choice. We have to decide on our own. I hope you will make this decision because the decision I'm calling you to is you have the choice between accepting what you think and limiting yourself or you have the choice to believe you are so much more. And we need to take our past and either let it enclose us into a bad situation, or we need to grab our past, grab a hold of it, shake it up until the truth falls from it. And it can enable us to become the best we can be once we grab the truth. I personally am choosing empowerment. I really, really hope you are too.